Malcolm X, born Malcolm Little on May 19, 1925, in Omaha, Nebraska, emerged as one of the most influential and complex figures in the American civil rights movement, known for his fiery rhetoric and uncompromising demand for black empowerment and justice. His early years were deeply shaped by the harsh realities of systemic racism and violence. His father, Earl Little, was a Baptist preacher and an ardent supporter of Marcus Garvey's black nationalist Back to Africa movement. Earl Little's outspoken activism made the family a target of white supremacist groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and the Black Legion, culminating in his suspicious death when Malcolm was just 6 years old, which was officially ruled an accident but widely suspected to be murder. Following this tragedy, Malcolm's family endured severe hardship, and his mother, Louise, struggled to keep the family together before eventually being committed to a mental institution. These traumatic experiences contributed to Malcolm's early feelings of alienation and anger. As a teenager, Malcolm moved to Boston, where he fell into a life of petty crime, including drug dealing, gambling, and burglary, adopting the street nickname Detroit Red due to his fiery temper and reddish hair. His criminal lifestyle led to his arrest in 1946, when he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. It was during his imprisonment that Malcolm underwent a profound transformation. He educated himself extensively, reading widely on history, religion, and philosophy, and converted to the Nation of Islam, a religious movement that combined black nationalism with Islamic teachings. Upon adopting the surname X, symbolizing the loss of his African heritage and ancestral name, Malcolm quickly rose to prominence as a charismatic minister and national spokesperson for the Nation of Islam. He preached a message of black self-determination, racial pride, and separation from white society, sharply criticizing the mainstream civil rights movement and leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. for their emphasis on integration and nonviolent resistance. Malcolm X argued that African Americans should defend themselves, by any means necessary, including armed self-defense, if peaceful efforts failed. His message resonated with many African Americans frustrated by persistent racial discrimination and violence. However, Malcolm's outspoken nature and radical views made him controversial and drew the attention of the FBI, which surveilled him closely. In 1964, disillusioned by revelations of Elijah Muhammad's personal misconduct and growing ideological differences, Malcolm left the Nation of Islam. He then embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca, which proved to be a pivotal moment in his life and worldview. Witnessing Muslims of all races worshipping together, Malcolm's perspective on race shifted towards a more inclusive and global understanding of human rights, embracing Orthodox Sunni Islam and advocating for unity among oppressed peoples worldwide. Upon returning to the U.S. he founded Muslim Mosque Incorporated, and the Organization of Afro-American Unity, through which he sought to build bridges with other civil rights organizations and promote Pan-African solidarity. Despite this evolution, Malcolm remained a vocal critic of systemic racism and injustice. His newfound positions, however, intensified tensions with former allies in the Nation of Islam, who viewed his departure and changing views as a betrayal. On February 21, 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated while preparing to speak at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. 3 members of the Nation of Islam were convicted for the murder, though some controversies and conspiracy theories about the full extent of involvement persist. Malcolm X's life and legacy have left an indelible mark on the struggle for racial justice. He challenged African Americans to take pride in their identity and heritage, question oppressive structures, and fight for freedom and equality on their own terms. His autobiography, published posthumously with the help of Alex Haley, continues to inspire generations worldwide, cementing his place as a towering figure in American history and the global movement for human rights.